Pokemon games haven't always been the most well-coded, and that has led to most of the games having soft lock conditions. And today, we're going to discuss the biggest soft locks in Pokemon. We start in Gen 1 with Red, Blue, and Yellow, and man, these games are glitchy. I almost can't handle the shock. We start with the earliest possible soft lock in these games, as it can happen before you even receive your starter Pokemon, and there's even a speedrun category for this soft lock. It involves getting the Pallet Town girl to stand where Professor Oak should go. By standing in a place where the girl is at the edge of the screen, she'll slowly but surely make her way to the Route 1 grass. And once she's there, all you gotta do is walk into the grass yourself. That messes with the cutscene where Professor Oak takes you to his lab, leading to you getting completely stuck on the side of the building, and you'll remain stuck unless you reset your save file, which is basically the only way to get out of most of these soft locks. Now that was a pretty interesting soft lock, but one you're unlikely to accidentally activate through normal gameplay. This next one though, I could definitely imagine a kid accidentally doing. All you have to do is evolve your starter before delivering Oak's parcel. In the Japanese versions of Red and Green, doing this confuses the game. By evolving your starter, the game thinks you've already delivered the parcel, meaning that Professor Oak won't give you your Pokédex. And without the Pokédex, the catching tutorial guy won't wake up, meaning you can never progress past Viridian City. And keep in mind, every soft lock here had to be discovered somehow, meaning there were kids who wasted their time evolving their starter early. Next we go to Gold, Silver, and Crystal, where we have a soft lock that was actually fixed in the remakes. This soft lock is activated in Cianwood City. First, go to Cianwood without having obtained any of the fishing rods. Next, release any Pokemon who could learn Surf, Fly, or Rock Smash. Finally, heal in the Cianwood Pokemon Center and save. By doing this, you are now stuck in Cianwood City. Even whiting out in the gym won't save you after healing and saving, but it seems like Game Freak learned about this soft lock at some point, because Heart Gold and Soul Silver has a way to save you from the soft lock. If you only have one Pokemon in your party who doesn't know Surf or Fly, an NPC in the Cianwood Pokemon Center will give you a gift Tentacool. And the cool thing is you can actually shiny hunt this Tentacool. You can do this by either soft resetting the game or repeatedly releasing the non-shiny Tentacool this kind man gives you. Next we go to Gen 4, which in some ways may be just as glitchy as Gen 1. Like Gen 1, this first soft lock can occur at the beginning of the game, and it's definitely one that has happened to some unlucky players. This soft lock happens by losing to the Starly at the beginning of the game, the battle that's supposed to be scripted for you to win. Normally, the Starly will flee if your starter's HP goes to the red, but under the right or wrong conditions, you can lose this battle. You need to pick a Chimchar with 19 HP and terrible defense IVs. The Starly also needs to have decent enough attack IVs. First, the Starly has to deal 3 damage for 5 turns, but then they have to high roll for 4 damage on the last turn. This allows Starly to bypass the flee check and knock out Chimchar, confusing the game so much that it'll be stuck on a black screen. But as far as I'm aware, the soft lock was fixed in the remakes. Rare BDSPW. Getting this next soft lock would make you the luckiest unlucky person. In Gen 4, there are various points where you team up with a stat trainer. Cheryl in Eterna Forest, Mira in Wayward Cave, Riley in Iron Island, Marley in Victory Road, and Buck in Stark Mountain. And with these team-ups, all wild encounters are double battles. And like normal gameplay, you can encounter a shiny during these battles. And if you're lucky enough, you can encounter 2 shinies, though you can only catch 1 Pokemon during a double wild battle. So already, a double shiny encounter makes you pretty unlucky lucky. However, if you encounter 2 shinies of the same species, your game will crash, definitely making you more unlucky than lucky. This is is because the game can't handle two similar length shiny animations. So sometimes, even if the Pokemon are different species, it can still crash. This next softlock may be one of the worst ones to activate. This is because it takes place in the post game. So if you save, you basically have no choice but to restart the entire game. In the post game of the Sinnoh games, there's a hiker on Route 226. Hiker Meister will trade you a German Magikarp for a Finneon, meaning you can use this Magikarp to Masuda Method shiny hunt. So on paper, this trade sounds like a good idea. However, Hiker Meister's house is on a small island, and here is how you can get soft-locked. If you don't have a fishing rod, no rare candies, no flying Pokemon, and your only surfing Pokemon is the Finneon you're about to trade, then by doing this trade and saving, you're forever stuck on the island. Since you have no way to fish for a new surfing Pokemon, and have no way to evolve Fopa the Magikarp into a Gyarados, at least you have Hiker Meister to keep you company. This next softlock is, I think, the most interesting of the video, as it takes place during Gen 4 online battles instead of the base game. In Gen 4, there was an online battle glitch called Acid Rain. Acid Rain was multiple weather effects happening at the same time. Basically, this is how it was activated. First, any weather effect aside from rain needs to have been activated, and weather effects also include Trick Room, Gravity, and Uproar. Next, a player of Platinum or the Johto remix needs to use Pursuit. The Pokemon you're using Pursuit on must have been trying to switch out, and then that Pokemon has to faint as a result. Like that, multiple weather effects would happen based on a priority list. Most commonly, Tyranitar would be used to activate Acid Rain, causing both Sandstorm and Rain to be up at the same time. And apparently, Acid Rain can get even weirder, since depending on how it's activated, other weather effects that shouldn't normally cause damage do, confusing the game so much that it says the Pokemon's ability caused it. But stacking damage with multiple weathers isn't all that would happen. Pokemon with Rain Dish would get healed multiple times over, and it was the only way for Fog to be activated during online battles. Now finally, with all that preamble out of the way, the softlock. If Castform is sent out during Acid Rain, the battle will basically never end. With multiple weathers up, Castform will keep switching between forms, and the only way to stop it was just to turn off your DS. And for us Castform fans, this was the best Castform was competitively. But with Gen 4 Sinnoh covered, let's go over Gen 8 Sinnoh. If you thought Diamond and Pearl were glitchy, let's revisit my old friends, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. This first softlock takes place in Veilstone City, where a Stunky can push you behind two trainers, since for whatever reason there's an empty gap behind them. And of all the softlocks in this video, this can be one you cannot undo. For this softlock, you need to have met 4 conditions: have autosave on, only have 2 badges, not have fly or teleport, and not have visited the Union Room through a Pokemon Center. Autosave means that soft resetting won't work like other methods here. You can't catch a teleport Pokemon in the underground with only 2 badges. Without fly or teleport, you can't return to the Pokemon Center. And if you haven't visited the Union Room through a Pokemon Center, you won't have the ability to open it up by pressing Y, meaning you can't trade with a friend to get a teleport Pokemon. So if you unfortunately meet all of these conditions, you really do have no choice but to reset the game if you want to continue. Even fainting in the underground won't return you to a Pokemon Center. Instead, you're just taken back to your secret base. That softlock is pretty unfortunate, but at least there's a checklist of sorts you need to hit to get softlocked. This next one though, all you need is autosave to ruin your playthrough. Snowpoint City's gym in BDSP is 1-to-1 with the originals. However, something Ilka forgot they added is diagonal movement. movement. Since you're not limited to just 4 directions like in Gen 4, you can pretty easily break the gym puzzle. On one hand, you can use this to completely skip the gym puzzle, but on the other hand, if you're not careful, you can get yourself soft-locked. If you don't remove the snowballs blocking the stairs in the bottom, and then fall into the middle of the gym, you're forever stuck if you save. Fly, teleport, dig, and even an escape rope won't work in gyms. So note to self, turn off autosave next time you play BDSP. If you ever find yourself replaying BDSP. Finally, we end in Unova with Black and White and their sequels. In Black and White, we have a soft-lock that you can get after just 1 badge. For this to happen, you start by picking Tepig as your starter. Afterwards, just progress through the game as normal, but make sure you battle every trainer and pick up every possible item. Next, receive the gift Pansage and battle the Striton gym. And here's where you soft-lock yourself. Release the gift Pansage and any Pokemon you may have caught. Then either sell all your items or throw them away. If you do sell them, buy random items and then sell those items. Rinse and repeat until you can't afford Pokeballs anymore. With all that done, you are now soft-locked. Tepig is the only Unova starter who can't learn Cut, and you need a Cut Pokemon to progress the game. Now we get to Black 2 and White 2 for our final soft-lock, which took place in early Japanese copies. In the post-game of Black 2 and White 2, you can meet N Zoroark, and this Zoroark will have you follow them to meet up with N. And if you're playing a Japanese copy, you need to follow this Zoroark. In other versions, deviating from Zoroark will just restart the side quest. However, doing the same in a Japanese copy causes a coding error. Zoroark will return to where you met, but will no longer move, locking you out of a good portion of post-game content. At the very least, it doesn't soft-lock you from all post-game content, but you are basically locked out of anything related to N. Luckily, as I alluded to earlier, this was fixed in the international versions. And there you have it, folks, the biggest soft-locks in Pokemon. What did you think about the soft-locks in this video? Which one did you think was the most interesting? And by any chance, did you get affected by any of these soft-locks? Let me know in the comments below. And become a member if you're interested. It's only $2 a month. Have a nice day, you wonderful people. Hey guys, I'm not sure if you've noticed yet, but Scarlet and Violet are pretty glitchy games. I'm sure there's a performance patch just around the corner though, but because of these glitches, the game tends to crash quite a bit, especially if you're playing with other players. So while I didn't find any hardcore Scarlet and Violet soft locks, I'm sure frequent crashes can count as a soft lock of sorts.